See what I gotta deal with, people? It's like the equivalent of like, you're so fucking lazy, Steve. Take out the trash. Why'd I marry you 20 years ago? That's what this is. This relationship that we have.
I don't know what that is.
You're just like, you're just always nagging me.
What were you just quoting?
Uh, just a nagging housewife. It wasn't a quote from anything. Just a nagging housewife. I just
You
and
chose the
Steve.
name Steve?
Yeah, just like a fat, balding, middle-aged man named Steve. He's just given up on life. He has a few years left before he gets his pension, and he's just sick of his wife Irene. She always has the hair curlers, and she's always complaining about everything. Takes Ambien, drinks a lot of Franzia box wine. Goes out with Ethel to PF Chang's at like 2 in the afternoon, sits in Brandon's section, gets
They love me.
champagne, doesn't order anything for like 2.5 hours, gets drunk. She's on blood thinner. I have this whole woman
Way
creative.
too specific. Hey everyone,
Hey,
and welcome
everybody.
to Why You Still Here, the show that we talk about whatever we want. And today, would you believe it?
I can't.
It's Special Features 24.
I just had my period. It's that time of the month again already.
It's the Kiefer Sutherland edition.
Didn't one of the Sutherlands just pass away?
Because of 24, like the TV show 24,
Oh,
Kiefer Sutherland.
you're so funny. But didn't one of
Yeah,
them like
that's a
pass
Lucas
away?
joke right there. Yeah, his father, Donald
That's what I thought.
Sutherland, passed away,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I thought I saw a Sutherland name popping around.
May he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Great, great actor. Um, but very old, so his time. But yeah, it's good. Have you ever seen Animal House?
Yes,
He plays like
years
a
ago.
teacher that like smokes weed with his students. Really weird.
I think I had a
But
teacher like that.
I believe that. Is that the
Some
one
weird
that got the girl
teachers.
pregnant?
No, that was the one that went to jail for having pictures of students on his phone. He
Even
got caught
better.
because he was selling prescription drugs in this elementary school parking lot that he taught in. True fucking story.
That's bad. Very bad. Anyway, yes. So Donald Sutherland, he was a good actor. The Italian Job, he was in
Classic
that.
movie.
Yeah. Not the original, if that's what you're thinking of, but the Mark Wahlberg one.
Yeah, that honestly was what I was thinking of.
You were thinking of the Mark Wahlberg one?
Yes, only because it's
Good.
newer.
Very good. Edward Norton.
Then I remember the
Anything is
trailers and shit
better when
for
you
it.
remake it with Mark Wahlberg.
Why do you think he opened Wahlburgers? He remade the burger. I mean, it's better.
Yeah. Wahlburgers. You got
Walmart,
was that?
Walmart. Oh, he has
Sure, I
nothing to
don't
do
think
with
that he
that.
has anything to do with that, but he could remake that and like we'd like it more, I'm sure.
Wait,
But
hold on. You're forgetting one.
Wahlburgers, and then
Planet
you
of the
got
Apes.
that's what this whole joke was about. That I thought you were
Very
gonna get
good.
it like that.
It took me a second, but
Yeah, it
the
took like
train came
5
back to
minutes.
the train came back to the station.
Where I was like, yeah, everything is better when it's remade with Mark Wahlberg.
And then I had to make a Wahlburgers joke
And then I
without
thought
even
you were gonna go, oh,
realizing.
and I was gonna go, yeah, let's move on now. Anyway,
Dumbass.
I don't know if he was in any other remakes, but Planet of the Apes sucks. Anyway,
Yes, it does.
the Tim Burton one. Yeah.
Sorry, Timmy.
Anyway.
So we have special features, and so basically, we're gonna tell you what we have going on in the schedule. We're gonna have my favorite segment, a little show and tell. So Brandon, what do we have going on? We have the this video will be out in 2 days anyway, so you'll see this before you see the road to Deadpool. Are you frozen or are you taking a shit?
No.
That was
I just
really
good.
that was I didn't hear anything. I fully expected that shit to have crashed, and I was gonna get very angry.
That's hilarious. If
That
I
was pretty
thought
good.
that you were buying it, that I would have tried to hold out longer. But yeah, that's funny. Um, next
Yeah,
time,
so
next time.
anyway, so yeah, we have the Road to Deadpool and Wolverine Part 1 coming out covering X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men Days of Future Past. I didn't botch that, did I? And
Nope.
then Logan. I saw all three for the first time. No trailers, no backstory really, no nothing. Just
Yep.
going in
Yeah,
blind,
that
and
was
it was fun. Now we have Deadpool focusing for the part two, and then Deadpool Wolverine the movie's coming out, so that's what we got on the slate. And then after that, it's August, which means it's October. So usual fare for this time of the year,
nightmarish.
nightmare fuel inducing. So
Yeah.
today we'll
The
have our special.
Crow, which we've talked about many times.
Yes,
Yeah, which follows shortly after. That's in August. Yeah, yeah. And then we have a secret project that you won't see until 2025 that we are gonna be starting filming on in August as well. So we
you
just
guys will
talked
like
about it
it.
last night. It's very exciting.
Super duper.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so this is going to be like the shortest special features ever, except for maybe our original ones, which were like 20 minutes.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Do you remember those
Hmm.
days? That was
God,
good. Yeah, I like that.
I like the 2 hour train wrecks.
We have one that's like almost 3 hours, I swear.
We
It,
do.
it, it,
It's
it
like 2 hours
exists.
and 41 minutes or some shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. And somehow still, this is what amazes me though. It still gets like 30 views.
I don't
So
know
that means
why.
30 people are clicking on it.
And they get watched for like 7 minutes. So
Yeah.
you're clearly skipping around and watching a chunk of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
They have to see if it gets good at any point. When they see it doesn't, then they move on. But
and I stand by the
it's,
fact that we have more charisma in each of our own one singular testicles than these
oh,
people have. Oh, I'm going there, baby. Than these people have in their entire existence.
what if you don't have testicles though?
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Like, what if one dropped out? So
Then
what
I guess you
happened?
have a
Your balls drop off?
I guess
Hmm?
you have a weird uniball situation.
It sounds like the dream.
Yes. Anyway, so basically the show and tell segment is what spans most of what the videos are. And this one I have literally 5 things to show. So does
Yeah, me
Brandon.
too.
So usually we have upwards of like 25 things. And almost each item is accompanied with a fucking 5 minute story. So it never ends, truly. So
Yeah.
this one will be
I don't think I
uh
really have any stories to share with these
I
either.
don't
One maybe, but that's it. Yeah.
exactly. So you can
Yeah.
start us off. I'll start it. It doesn't even matter.
Okay. I guess I'll start us off. I never do that, so I don't know. This is one from I missed actually, and I know I watched the last episode, and I'm like, here is where I missed something. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. And you just put like image not available, because I didn't think that there was anything. I was like, I guess I got all of it. Well, I didn't, and that was these little dealios, came from Trick or Treat Studios. I think they were like super limited. I think they sold out
I
like
saw these in the
right away.
store. I know what you're showing up. So I'm glad I
And
didn't buy them then. It's great.
yeah. And what's funny about these is this will never be unsealed because I actually pointed out to them that they have a spelling error on this, and I wouldn't stop tagging them in a Facebook post, both Justin Mabry and his name's not on here, but the what's his name? The leprechaun.
Chris
The
Efro.
yeah. See, my mind removed him from it. So Chris Zeffro and Justin Mabry, I kept tagging them in it, like, hey, look at the spelling error. And then finally, Chris Zeffro responded and said, like, yeah, we're aware of it. The next versions will have that removed. And I was like, okay, because it says for Bob here, it says Bob Simmons. That's not his name. His name is Bob Sims, like
I didn't
Barry
even know Bob's last
Sims.
name.
Yep. Yep.
Huh. You know what? I hate you. I hate you so much because just this knowing this, I swear to God, I'm gonna make a text tomorrow morning to one of my other coworkers and say, "Hey, do you still have this in the store so I can like pick it up because there's an error on it."
Yeah. Maybe they do. I don't know. Like I know it's sold out at least for like the first week or so, but maybe it got back in and maybe it's still the older version. Maybe they haven't put out the reprinted versions yet. I don't know. But
Well, some things will sit there for like months and not sell. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
masks halfway to Halloween was very Michael Myers centric. So masks and t-shirts and the Michael Myers Funko Pop, that was like the fucking number one thing people wanted was the damn Funko Pop.
Really?
Yeah. Customer, it's really weird like seeing what we like to get from Trick or Treat Studios versus what the mass population is just buying in general. You know,
Hmm.
it's interesting. So
It is. And this sitting on a shelf doesn't really grab your attention super well, you know?
it only
So
grabs
it's
my attention
possible.
because I like Halloween and because they're small figures of characters you're never gonna get anywhere else. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Bendy figs when you got Linda, was that it? And then you were saying when are you gonna get like a Linda figure because there's not very many of them,
Yeah, they weren't bendy. It was just like you know,
like a
like
retro
old
type,
school, yeah, like mini
not Bendy
retro
figs. What did you
figure.
get it from? Fright Rags? You got it from somewhere. I don't
It
remember
was
where you
Fright
got it.
Rags.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And that I got both versions of that. I don't know if they ever had like a third version or not, but I got lucky twice with that. And it says it on there too on the box. Otherwise, I would like give you one, but they are different releases. Like they
Yeah.
say, release one, release two on it. So, um, yeah. So I don't know, but those sold out within like the first 45 minutes or so. I stayed maybe even quicker, maybe in the first like 20 minutes. I knew when they were coming out. I had it where like an email was sent to me, right? And so as soon as it popped up, I got on the website both times. So
Good shit.
yeah,
Brandon, the biggest Halloween fan I know.
yeah, 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 yeah. As well as the um actually I'm getting some things mixed up here. For some reason, those sold out too. Yeah, the Linda, the Lori, there was a Dr. Loomis, there was an Annie. I think the Annie and the Linda were the ones that sold out. Everything else kind of stuck around for a little bit, Sheriff Brackett. But actually what I was thinking in my head and talking about was like the plastic figure, like the box of plastic figures that they released.
You showed it
Because
off.
Fright Rags released, yeah, I think I did. I showed off set two, the release two or whatever, and they were like these in an orange and black box. That's the one I was talking about that has the release one, release two on it. So I lucked out on both of those because that sold out same thing, like within the first 20 minutes. And anytime they have like a release coming out for Halloween memorabilia, I'm on their mailing list. And so I will force myself to get up upon release, and I'll start logging onto the website like a couple minutes beforehand and whatnot. So,
Good shit.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when you snooze, you lose.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So it's, this is such a funny special features in numerical number and the fact that I thought I had shown everything off myself until I found something that I purchased right before halfway to Halloween. Um, Actually two things, so that counts into the five. So I'll just do one of them first. And I forgot that I even had these until I was putting away boxes for something I'll show after, because my boxes now just go in this corner. Um, on top of my ghost face masks, but there was like two of these left, and it's not like it's rare or it's hard to find, but I did pick up the green fluorescent one just because I like the color. It reminds
Sure.
me of like the stab posters and stuff, so it's cool. And
Of
they
course.
they did sell out of the green ones. I think there's just orange and pink ones left after halfway to Halloween because the cheaper stuff like this is what's gonna fly during those big events, and I just don't want to miss out on it while I can physically look through fucking 20 of them. You know what I mean? So picked
Yeah.
up one of these, even though it's not the one that we had wanted, and we talked about it before they came out. But I did get this one, and the orange one is up there because it's like black and orange, like Halloween. So I can't say I'll pick up the pink one, which means, oh, you ended up getting it too?
No, I've had this
Okay.
for a while. It's a different tag.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say it is a different tag. Very good.
Yeah. So this was when they had the moniker Icon of Halloween. See that up at the top?
Yeah, I still
The
have
Icon of
a
Halloween.
few pieces of merchandise that do have Icon of Halloween, but now Ghostface Lives is like
Ghostface
the,
Lives is the newest
yeah.
one. Yeah. I got this I don't know, 2 years ago or so for the same reasons. I was like, obviously the stab poster and stuff, like the green look is kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Um okay, I take that back. I got this 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what does the manufacturer tag on the inside say? Because mine on the back says 2021, but it was made in 2023. So, oh, the manufacturing date is on the label there. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's what I was showing.
Okay, I thought you were pointing the to the other like. Oh no, okay.
Yep, it's same manufacturing date on the back and on the inside. For those that don't believe.
Seeing is believing, kids. So
And
anyway, yeah,
believing
I
is seeing.
literally picked it up for the exact same reasons as Brandon. So anyway, there you go. Just another ghost face mask to add to the collection.
Yes, indeedly do.
Yes, because I didn't believe you.
Yes, indeed. Uh,
It does look pretty cool. Can't lie.
yeah, and it's all right. I would love to have the green and in a Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen nothing else after that, but EU. An EU one would be good. Because this is ultra white.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like not from like physically holding the piece, but just from what it shows up on like on camera on this low quality piece of shit. It looks like a super like a glow in the dark one that's just raging in color.
Sure, sure. Oh god, I
Oh
lost my
God.
rabbit hat.
Sorry, Jack. The infamous McDonald's toy from Dead Man's Chest.
Yes, indeed it is.
Very good.
Yes. Anyway,
All right. What's your next item, lady?
um, so yes, I do want to say that I was offered one time a green Gen 1.
And
It was for like $950. And I said, I
you
don't have
you
the money
regret
right now.
you regret not
No,
selling
I
your
didn't have the
soul.
money. I can't really regret what I didn't have, right?
Sure.
But there was a guy I asked, and he's like, "Oh, they don't come up very often. Everybody wants the green ones." And I'm just like, "Let me know, you know." And then he was like, "Okay, here." He's like the guy that like weeks later, finally the guy, he's like, "My friend has one for sale." And I'm like, "I'm thinking that I can probably only afford a Gen 2." Scream 2 is my favorite anyway, so um this one is just a kind of a stupid one to throw in.
I
Um
know what it is. I can
yeah, did
tell by the
it get
logo.
exposed?
I can just tell by the corner because I bought that game like 2 months ago.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw it at Walmart for the second time and I was like,
Let me
I
guess,
didn't
you
have
paid
it
it
for
was $20?
PS5. $20, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't have it for PS5. I had it for PS4, but not PS5. And yes, I'm sure you can play the PS5 version from the PS4 version, but also I just wanted the PS5 version on the shelf, you
Well, the
know?
reason why you want the PS5 version is it's the native PS5 version on the disc. It's not going to
Yeah,
be an
it's
upgrade.
true.
So what
It's
that
true.
version is, same for the Xbox One, but what it does is it takes the PC version because the PC version updates for free because it's PC, of course, but it adds ray tracing, 4K support. So it just takes the PC and puts it on a disc. So no, you were not wrong for getting that version.
Very good. Plus, with 6 coming out
Yeah.
on PS5, so, you know, and Grand Theft Auto 5, baby. And for some reason, it's 20 at Walmart and it's like 30 at Best Buy and 30 at like Amazon.
Best Buy was weird with their pricing because like Mass Effect the trilogy I got from them for $8 and other places are selling it for like 20. So I don't know. I don't know what Best Buy's up to.
Weird. Usually Amazon does great prices though, too.
I know.
And this is the back of it. Like they're not even trying to sell it to you anymore because they know that you've already played it.
I don't even think I looked at the back of the damn game. What does it even
Yeah.
say?
It just has this photo first and foremost, so no gameplay. And it says stunning visuals and effects, 60 frames FPS gameplay. I was going to say frames per second, but you know, now I made it even wordier.
Stunning
Faster
visual.
loading, adaptive triggers, and haptic feedback, which is great. Um, Tempest 3D audio, transfer to PS5. See, that's the weird one. It says transfer to PS5, and I think it means like your data.
Continue the adventure with your GTA 5 and GTA Online character. Yeah, it would just be your plot and your save points and your character
Yeah.
from GTA Online, which I don't play GTA Online and I won't. So whatever.
I played it when it was bad, and now it's just way too complicated. Free access to the ever evolving world of GTA Online and additional exclusive content for new and returning players, which, I don't um I can't call Rockstar lazy necessarily because the amount of work they've been putting into GTA Online is insane. I see it on my homepage on my PS5, like the new characters that you can add to it. And there's like a character creator, and you can have as Claude as one of your dad.
Oh, that's cool.
And it will create like you can have your Misty as your mom, Claude as your dad. And the one cool thing about this feature is you can see a HD version of Claude, like what he would look like if he showed up in, GTA 5, which is kind of cool. But they have all that and like all the missions that they added to it and all the heists and all this shit here and there. It's like they've made like 20 games over the last 10 years. But to us, it looks like they've been dragging their feet and not creating any games in the last 10 years,
Well, we're just so
10
much
plus
in
years,
our
12
in our
years by the time it comes out.
we're just in that bubble of like if it involves other people, then typically am not gonna do that. Like, because it's a whole community, right? It's not like I'm just hopping on with, my friend and we're doing like co-op missions. Like, you got to deal with a whole bunch of
You can
other
do that.
people.
You can do the co-op thing. You do have to deal with the others, but you don't have to play with them.
Okay.
Because I did it. Like I played when GTA Online
They
first
can't,
came out.
can
It
they just go up
was
to you and kill you and steal your shit? Because that's how it was in GTA 4 online. Like, you could do stuff with your friends, but other people would be in there and they could just kill you.
yeah, I'm sure that there's things like kinks that they've ironed out and stuff though, because I played it twice, mind you. Okay. Both within the first week of release. They didn't have heists yet.
Yeah, I know
They
it was
had
it
told you
was
they were
dog shit when
coming.
it first came out.
Such dog shit, they had to pay you in-game money because they let everybody down.
That's funny.
So they gave you $1 million, and which now means nothing, I guess.
So what,
You
back on
know,
like the PS, you're talking about like the PS3 version,
PS3,
like yeah, okay.
PS3, yeah, they gave you $1 million, like not PSN money. Could you
Yeah, no, I know
imagine?
what you're saying. Yeah.
Like in game.
No, I know.
So that was crazy at the time. And I remember I'm not gonna spend it. No. And my friend went and bought like a condo or something. And I was like, I'm not gonna spend it. And then
They
guess
took it
what? That
away.
money, yeah, because I waited too long. I
Hmm.
waited and I got the email. They let me know that it was about to expire. And I went, I'm never gonna play GTA Online ever again. So I don't care. And that's still true to this day. So, but all it was at that time was running around and shooting at other people and then
Sounds like
talking to
GTA
your
4
friends and
online.
stuff. That's all it was. And I remember there was like, I called them Mexicans. I'm like, oh, the Mexicans are coming. And it was just a group of people you could hear because if you got close enough to them,
Yeah, it's got the
like your
proximity
character, then
stuff for
you
the
could
mic. Yeah,
hear,
yeah.
yeah, proximity of their audio. And all of a sudden you'd hear this different language being spoken, and they'd be like, no, the Mexicans. And I
That's funny.
remember I was like trying to talk to my friend Brett and like his friend on there. And then it's like, no, the Mexicans are coming. And all of a sudden they're taking over our conversation. And I don't know if they were actually speaking Spanish or what, but that's all. That's all you could do. You could buy like a condo, hang out with your friends, shoot at people. It was
Well,
like
so when I hear about like all like the missions or heists and stuff that they've added, so Fallout 76 is not something that I ever extensively played, but I played a little bit of it when it first came out.
yeah,
And it's Fallout, but it's multiplayer, right? So you have
yeah.
some people
People
to
hate it.
interact with. It's a piece of shit. It's gotten better, but it's still not
Yeah.
something I would ever put my time into. But you have friends that are your companions in the game, but other people can just come up to you and kill you and loot all of your shit, and you got to start right over.
Yeah.
So I heard the community has changed where like there's so few people that play it that when they are new players, people will invite you to like, actually try and share resources with you. But I'm not gonna fucking do that. Anyway, so I guess good on you, Rockstar.
Please, Rockstar, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, please just put more effort into GTA 6. Please, like GTA 5. It's a great game. It's a great game. We all love GTA 5. GTA 5, well, that Trevor, I tell you, playing as Trevor, my favorite character. I love it. GTA 5. GTA 5 is so good, so good. I don't know what to say. Oh, that Trevor. Anyway, we all love Trevor. We all love Trevor, Michael DeSanta, Frank. I do well with the blacks. I do very well with the blacks. we're poll. All right, we're polling very well with the blacks. Franklin, I like Franklin. Anyway, I don't even know why that happened, but basically, it's a good game. I really enjoy it, but there's it lost so many features since some of your older, like I'm talking to you, Rockstar, since some of your older GTA games, you've lost features, my friend. Let's get back to that, shall we?
Skyrim is similar where it is the de facto one, but yes, they've lost things from Morrowind and Oblivion, and I've said this before. I don't even care about Elder Scrolls 6 anymore. I just don't. Whatever they do, I feel like it's never gonna live up to the expectation of the sequel in my head. And I
Yeah,
also just have a sneaking suspicion that they're just gonna dumb down a lot of elements of the game like Bethesda's done in like Fallout 4. So when it comes to things
yeah.
that take that long, it's like it can be the best game ever, but I'm still gonna find something to say. It took you 13 years and you still didn't put that in there. You know what I mean? So I'm
They shot
approaching
themselves in the foot with
I'm
that for
approaching GTA
sure.
6 and Elder Scrolls 6. Funny the both the six ones, but I'm
Yeah.
really approaching those with extreme caution. Like I just
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Anyway, here's the deal though,
here's the
seriously.
deal.
Um, make it longer. Like I don't want to be able to beat it in a week, you know? I want it to take months and I hate it for a little bit, but then I get back to liking it and then I love it and then maybe I hate it again for a little bit. Like it takes that long. You
Well,
know what I'm
because
saying?
see, it gets muddied because like you can sort of justify the open world approach because same thing with Skyrim. The main story is like 40 hours, 60 hours, depending on how you play it.
I think the main
But
story of GTA 5 is like 12 hours.
wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I understand that there's a lot to do in that game, but what?
Yeah, it's like they didn't care.
That fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, I'll see exactly what it is, but you're comparing it to like even Vice City. Like that was more than 12 hours, I'm pretty sure, and definitely San Andreas was. And I don't know if you're aware, I assume you probably are, but you're not as clear on it as I am since I'm currently playing San Andreas.
Yep,
But San Andreas has Los Santos, which is like Los Angeles, right? You have that in GTA 5. Then you have the countryside, which
yep,
has a name, but I forgot what it's called. That's also in GTA 5. But then you have San Fierro, which is like San Francisco.
which is
That's
not in
not in
GTA
GTA
5.
5. And then you have Las Venturas, which is like Las Vegas. That's not in GTA 5. So it's literally like a third of the map.
It's like they just pour the resources available in space and just allocate that to graphics.
I guess. And maybe with GTA Online, it's gotten bigger and stuff, but it's not something I'd ever know just playing the normal game, you know?
Because
Like, you
that's all
want
we
to
want to play is the
impress
normal
people,
fucking game.
do DLC. Like, GTA 4 had DLC. It had The Ballad of Gay
Ballad of Gay
Tony and it
Tony, and
had
then
Lost and the Damned.
that's what it was
And
called.
so, you have add those, something like that to it and expand the world. GTA 5 didn't have that. So it's very
Well,
disappointing
why would you when
because
you can just repackage the game and sell it 4 times?
right, and people will still buy it, obviously.
Uh,
And yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Let's see though. Let's see. What were you thinking it was?
thinking what was
The gameplay of GTA 5.
like when you held it up and you first said something about it.
No, when I was like, it's only 12 hours. And you're
Oh,
like,
I would have
what?
thought at least like 20, 25.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm wrong. It's 32 hours, but I don't know where they got that figure from because
If here, this is what I'm gonna pull
I
up
think
then.
it's to 100% completion. I think that's what they're talking
I'm gonna
about.
go to this website that I use all the time. It's called How Long to Beat. It tells you the story, just like the bare bones story, and then it'll tell you like a completionist time. So
Okay.
what are we doing? GTA 5. So this is their metric, and I actually trust this website because it's just people will pool their times
Yeah,
together and it
so it's
gives you an average.
saying the same.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It felt real quick to me. That's all I'm saying. It felt quicker to me than GTA 3 did. And those are both games that I have beaten the story on. And side missions. Like I assume we're including that in there, right?
That's what the completionist time is. Yep. That's
Is it?
100%.
Because completionist time should be like I just mean basic side missions. I'm not talking about doing everything, like all the vigilante missions and the ambulance missions and all
Oh
that
no,
kind of
when it
stuff.
says completionist on that site, that's like 100% of the game.
Yeah, that's the 83.9 hours or whatever that you just showed. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like normal side missions. So the story, but the stuff that also steps outside the story, that might be the 50 hours that's on that when you
Yeah,
build
it's
that
called
up.
there's main plus extra and then
Yeah,
completionist.
yeah. So that like 50-hour thing there is what I did, and it definitely wasn't 50 hours. Take my word for it.
I
But
will.
I'm just saying. Again, GTA 3 took longer for me, so Vice
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
City definitely took longer for me, and San Andreas is fucking insane. So anyway, I think it's been my turn for like the last 37 minutes. Or have you gone
I
after
just did.
GTA?
No, I didn't even pick up GTA. I just showed you my copy because I was
No,
reading along
after
with
I
you.
showed
I haven't
GTA.
shown
Did
anything
you
since
show
then.
anything? Okay, then
No.
it's your turn.
Okay, so here was something that I saw during the Halloween season, but it was cheap and I didn't pick it up because I didn't really care. But then they sold out of them, and then this was right around the time, you know, we found out that Trick or Treat Studios was losing its licensing. But they got this back, and it was in a black color, which I prefer anyway to the cream color that they had before. It's supposed to be like a trick or treat bag, just a canvas bag, but obviously it has the Trick or Treater trio on it. So basically
Mm-hmm.
anything that has Halloween 3 stuff, I always just love to pick that stuff
Yeah,
up.
they get it back because now they can just say it's a Don Post shirt
Yeah,
rather than a
yeah.
Halloween 3 shirt.
But well, it's a bag.
Or yeah,
But I like the black
whatever.
color better than the cream one that was before. So whatever.
Very good.
To add to my
Very good.
collection of Halloween 3 bags. Love Halloween 3, everybody. Great fucking movie.
And with that one, there's no zipper or anything, so people can reach their hands right into
You
it and
could
grab
just steal
whatever they
my
want.
shit.
Um,
Exactly.
exactly right. So let's stay on the PS5 category, shall I? It's a long story of how I acquired this, and it's gonna make Amazon look really good, so I'm not going to share it. But here you go.
Oh, nice. You got your RoboCop.
I got my RoboCop.
Very
RoboCop
good.
Rogue City. I don't have time to play it at the moment, so it's still all wrapped up like I don't know.
Yeah, I used to love opening my movies and my games the second I get them, regardless if it's going to sit on the shelf for two
Yeah,
years. But
yeah.
since we've done this, I actually have done the same thing where I just leave it in the package until I'm going to use it. Like I have 4 games that are shrink wrapped still that will be shrink wrapped for a while.
May as well. It doesn't get dusty then, right?
Yeah, true.
Um, yeah, so I'm excited to play it. I have recently become a RoboCop fan, so
Exactly. And then if you tell me it's good, I'll pick it up used. Speaking of which,
I hear it's fantastic.
I would be showing this off right now. However, I didn't know about this when the game got announced, but there was the trailer for and it was at the Sony show last year, their summer show, I think, for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's coming out on PS5, PS4. I
Yeah,
think it's coming out for like everything.
I think it comes
Um,
out like today.
it comes out, it's already out actually. But it's
Yeah.
out
Oh,
because
okay.
it only exists digitally. If the sales are high, they'll do a physical release later on. So I'm not showing it off right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't like
Mm-hmm.
multiplayer games, but that game looked like it was going to be fun. So if it comes to Game
Yeah, but
Pass,
it's not a
maybe I'll renew
multiplayer
Game
game,
Pass.
is it? Because we now you should remember the word. I remember the word.
Which word?
It's an asymmetrical horror game.
There's teams of humans
That's
and
what they're
clowns though.
called.
It's not just one against a group though.
That's what makes it asymmetrical. Otherwise, it'd be symmetrical.
But that's what I'm saying. There's like
That's what
there's
I'm
like
saying.
4 clowns and 4 humans that would be symmetrical.
It's still not though. They still consider it asymmetrical
That doesn't make
because
any sense.
humans never have abilities like a killer does. So killers always have a higher higher ability than a human does, but human has like the abilities to hide and that kind of stuff. So
Wow,
there's
you know
like
what?
supernatural abilities.
I
You
would just call
always
it a survival horror online
you'd
game.
rather play, but it's a completely different category in and of itself, asymmetrical horror. And it was invented with like years ago, but then it resurfaced with Friday the 13th. Like that's when that word became a thing again.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But that's the category. That's what it's whether you like it or not, that's what it's called.
And then
And
whether we like it or not, I'm not playing the game, so sucks. I'll just have to watch some gameplay, see if it's okay. But like it'll probably come out like Alan Wake did a fucking year later, but
I'm sure that it
I
will. Friday
digress.
the 13th was digital at first only too.
What
And
about
then there
the
was
Evil Dead
obviously
game?
Dead by
Did that
Daylight
come out at the
was
same time physically? And well, you bought the game physically, so it had to have.
Texas Chainsaw came out. Uh Evil Dead, I think, was physical right away, and then Texas Chainsaw was physical right away as well. The Evil Dead, they took the servers down. You can't even
Already?
play that. Yeah. hmm Friday the 13th as well, but that took longer. And there was a reason behind it.
Hmm.
That's the problem with the asymmetrical horror games is that they have to keep the servers going, and if they take them down, you're done unless you want to have a LAN party.
Well, if they just would have made a single player experience, then you would have been fine. So I'm
Yeah,
not even gonna harp on it.
they were going to with Friday the 13th. They're not even entertaining that with any of these other games, but Friday the 13th was supposed to have a single player mode as well as like a part 5 like Roy mode. I forgot what it was going to be called, but it was going to be that one person was the killer, but nobody knew who it was except for the person that is it. It was like Among Us, but
Yeah.
with Friday the 13th characters.
See, I can get down with that. But what I mean is like
Well,
an actual
everybody was excited.
an act, but not even like a mode where you play with bots. I mean, like if the game was not focused on multiplayer, make a Halloween game
Yeah.
Where you're Laurie's friends. Like,
Yeah,
why
they
not
don't
something like that?
the asymmetrical horror thing is the thing at the moment. And that because they're working on a Halloween game too, and I bet my right testicle that it's going to be the same thing.
It's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah. And the reason why is because people want to play online games.
I know. I know I'm saying it like and there's no reason to because no one's going to listen to me about it. It's just the wishful kind of talk. People are stupid. And then that
You're
Ghostface game that I heard about like
agreed.
last year that I haven't heard anything about since. Nate Reagan
Um,
was backing it.
oh, I
It
don't
was like
know.
there was a Kickstarter.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Probably
Look
better
at
off that
that.
way.
Nerd Space Games did the top 10 best asymmetrical horror games of all time. I think it's time for WAYSH to do the same thing. I'm lying, obviously. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that. But where do they get 10 from?
right. This is the only 10 that exist.
Yeah, their photo for their thumbnail is Evil Dead and Friday the 13th, but Jesus Christ. Um, here's like Still Solo is talking about killer clowns from outer space, the future of asymmetrical horror. And I don't know if he played it by that point, or there's also Jim
I saw
Sterling
some
is
like
saying, please, no more licensed asymmetrical horror games. Please. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what Lucas is saying too.
yeah, just make them single player. That's all we want.
Yeah, well, this would be funny. They would go, so the Ghostface game, which a Ghostface game has to be an asymmetrical horror game. That's what the movies are, right?
Sure.
So you got to do that. That's the one exception to the rule. You have to do that. And Texas Chainsaw was a good one too because there was 4 family members, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it for Ghostface because and then you can do like the Roy crazy mode where you're like, I'm not the killer, and then one of you has to put on the costume
So you can have an
without getting
online
caught.
component. Sure, make that like huge. But how would you feel? Because you like these kind of games too. A
Yeah,
supermassive games approach to these franchises where it's basically a sequel as a game movie. Like that's what I want.
I would say yes for everything but Scream. I think Scream is the exception because you need the online play. And they they maybe they do like a mode, but they wouldn't put as much time and energy into it that you would want them to do the single player experience. And you couldn't have that would be because Friday the 13th one, they were going to have their single player mode, and they did also have like a bot mode that Texas Chainsaw doesn't. So you could get your bearings with the game and get better at it. Scream wouldn't be able to have that
Well, I mean, if you structure it narratively, you can have its own thing.
unless
But I
it could
mean,
be like one of the bots are a killer, and they could like throw it into it where you have to guess at certain points, like throw that in, like, just like in the movie, guess. You have to guess, and maybe if you don't guess correctly, then you're the next targeted person. I don't know. I'm not writing the game, but like this, they'd have to implement that somehow into it, as well as like horror movie tropes and all that kind of stuff. And the better Ghostface player would be the one that's, is a bigger horror movie fan, as well as a person who's the best liar of the bunch, because you got to have it where it's only connectivity through a headset, right?
well,
So
see that's just assuming everyone that's playing it is going to be a Scream fan, or like a horror movie fan in general. I think just because you like Scream so much, you've fleshed out a very good idea here.
they would
Um,
it would have to be 90% of that. Because if you're not a Scream fan, you're not going to play the game. So, and if you're not a horror fan, you're not going to be interested even a little bit. So
Really? That's funny
there's
because
no
like
way.
my friend, I've told you about him a million times. He hates horror movies, but horror games are a completely different thing. So people have that.
But you could play. I'm saying the best possible Ghostface killer would be the person that knows about horror movie tropes as well as being a good liar. So you could still, if you're a
Sure.
good liar, that's fine, but you also might not be a good killer and you might get caught right away.
Yeah,
Like the
I
horror
just
movie tropes come into place with creative kills.
that is
So, that kind of thing. And if you could go the next step and do it where you can disguise your voice, it's not going to sound like Roger L. Jackson, but you can call the other players and they
but
don't
here's
know
the
it's
thing though.
you.
That is so involved that could absolutely never happen unless it took
It's
like 10 years of development and like
it's
a
what
real
it's what would
good
make it
studio.
scream. That's the only way it would be scream. I being somebody that plays these asymmetrical horror games, it's more than possible to do this. The only new aspect of it would be that everybody has to speak. Otherwise, you're going to get kicked from the room. They won't do that from Friday or for Texas Chainsaw because there will be people that don't speak in that. So ability to kick because they don't have ability to kick in these games traditionally. So you need to make sure everybody is speaking, and then just the ability to call somebody on a cell phone in the game. That would be super simple. Like that's the only new thing to be added. Everything else I said already exists in other games. So
How would you even keep a Scream game going for how long would a match duration be? I don't know. It's very involved.
it's like any other one of the asymmetrical horror games. You can play a quick match or you can play a long match.
Ugh.
It varies.
I love the idea, Brandon. I really
You're
love your
not you're not a
enthusiasm.
fan of asymmetrical horror games, like
No,
to the
I'm
point that
not.
you
I
don't
don't
know
want
what they're
to.
called. So you don't know how possible this would be. This is the only way to make this like unique to Scream. Otherwise, there'd be no point.
Okay,
And
well,
it
I don't
isn't.
know.
I mean, we do know it is an asymmetrical horror game. Like that's something that's already known about this Scream game. So how else are they going to make it different?
I don't
Otherwise, it's
know,
just going to
Brandon.
fall into the sea of all the other shitty ones. Like Friday the 13th was notable. Dead by Daylight is anti-notable. There's nothing notable about that shit. I can't stand Dead by Daylight. Um, it's like they get characters like Ghostface in it, and they all the killers are exactly the same. You pick people up, you put them on hooks, you walk away. And then the person wiggles himself off the hook, and then you catch them again and you put them back up on a hook. And it's like, I don't know what Scream movies you've seen, but I've never seen Ghostface put somebody on a hook. So I'm just saying, so that is trash in my opinion. But that the option exists that they could do it like that, and maybe they'll attract just casual people to it, not me. They'd have to make it unique to Scream. In your opinion, then we'll move on. What makes Scream unique as a movie series?
Well, the fact that you have to guess who the killer is,
Exactly right.
but all in the sense of an asymmetrical game. Sure, multiplayer. I'm talking about. I would love a
But I told you they're
Halloween.
not going to do that though, because they would have to do that as a separate mode, and their money comes from asymmetrical horror. They're not going to do a separate mode that's going to make you happy. Like they might be able to do a separate mode that's a single player, but you're not going to be happy over it because they're not going to put the time and energy into it. And
Okay,
I'm on your side that everything, all these IPs should be single player, with the exception of Scream. Scream has to be asymmetrical horror, like I said 10 minutes ago. That's the one that has to be, because it wouldn't be fun otherwise. But everything else, Halloween, yeah, I'd prefer single player. Absolutely. Are they going to do it? Absolutely not. And I wish they would, but they're not going to make something that only is gains interest from hardcore fans, because that's what that would be.
which is why I don't have interest in playing these games ever. I played Friday the 13th a little bit when it came out. I did
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw a couple of matches. I tried the Dead by Daylight game one time.
Dead by
I
Daylight
just
sucks.
I just not okay, sure, I know you hate it, but like I don't know. I never picked up Evil Dead for that reason either. Now you can't even play it anymore, so whatever.
No.
But I just whatever. I have no
Texas
interest in it.
Chainsaw is I miss Friday the 13th because I'm a bigger Friday the 13th fan. So hearing the music and stuff and locations was cool. But Texas Chainsaw so far has been the best made of the games.
And that's fine. Again, I'll never go back and play it. So I guess
Mm.
just big difference in gameplay here. Is that like the only
It's
multiplayer
not,
games you play then?
it's not, what's that?
Is that the only multiplayer games you play then? It sounds about it.
No, we've had full discussions about this. I used to play the Dead Island games on which they were Dead Island, not Until Dawn, but I always want to say Until Dawn. The sequel, the Dying Light 2, those were all games like that were multiplayer, but could be single as well. But yeah, those games I played like that, as well as the Resident Evil had like these little I don't know what they were called, but it would be two people working together, taking down like an entire area of different creatures, and you could only get through it with the help of each other. So there is that too. But yeah, I don't like multiplayer. We've talked about that.
Yeah, I don't particularly either, but it's just funny because like you like these asymmetrical horror games and I should too, but I just don't. Just
Because I
don't.
don't think you've ever really given them a chance. That's probably why. It's like the same conversation I have with Anthony all the time, and it drives me up a fucking wall to the point that I have to just stop the conversation, where he says he doesn't like Breaking Bad. I say Breaking Bad's won who knows how many Emmys. It's one of the greatest, if not the greatest show of all time. Give it a chance. And he'll go, I did. And I'm like, But by what meaning? And he'll have watched like 2 episodes. I'm like, no, you have to watch an entire season. After an entire season, if for some reason you don't like it, then you're just the 1% that doesn't like it, but actually give it a chance. And for this example, giving it a chance would be you playing it for a week straight. That would be giving it a chance, like a real legitimate chance. And it's not for everybody. It's really not for me either because I'm not a multiplayer fan. But yeah, I enjoy it, but only for a short period of time because then I move on. Like they continue updating it, I don't go back to playing it unless Texas Chainsaw adds in like ones from the second movie, the third movie, so on and so forth. Then I'll go back and play it for a little bit, but then I'll move on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what people normally do or if they keep playing it for a long time. I'm not sure.
All right, do you have anything else to say about the topic?
I hate that it went this long.
Me too. That's why I said that.
Yeah, that's what I have to say about it.
All right, so whose turn is it right now?
I don't know. Last thing I showed was RoboCop.
When I showed off my stupid bag, so it's my turn. I was walking around Meyer the other day. The other day, it was like a month ago. I saw this for $3.08. So of course I had to buy it. And I'm gonna be really honest with you. Looks cool. It's worth every fucking bit of the $3 that this was marked down to, like after taking it out of the box.
Yeah,
Because let me just show you how beautifully articulated this figure is. I'm gonna show you all the points of movement, right? You can kind of do that. Um, I'll break his knee if I try to bend it. I mean, it's
it looks
like
like it bends, but you'd have to do it so carefully and get it to
no,
go.
there's no there it doesn't. There's nothing there,
Huh.
Brandon. It's a solid. I mean, I could just break it right now,
Yeah,
probably, but
break
I'm
it.
not going to. Um, you can do this. I mean, this it's nothing. It doesn't stand up on its own worth of shit. The assault rifle it's junk, but
What
it's
did
three
you
dollars worth of
expect?
junk.
What was it originally? What's the MSRP on that?
I don't know. I have the box right here. Well, okay, so I guess when you see what they really wanted for it, but even then, I wouldn't have paid $10.30 for that piece of shit.
Yeah.
But no, when I opened it, I'm like, I think I might put it back in the box and then like try to return it, but I didn't,
Yeah.
obviously. So it's sitting on, and the thing
I
does not
mean,
stand up. Like it's
unless you just want it standing there, you know.
honestly, it's better off being displayed in the box. So after this episode, I honestly said after this episode, I was going to put it back in the box, but he's junk.
It's it reminds me of like what Disney does. Like they make like kid versions of things that are not as well painted, have less articulation, are meant to be thrown around, you know? Like you don't want a kid getting their hands on like a Black Series figure and fucking it up, but it doesn't matter so much if they're getting their hands on just a piece of plastic that looks like a Black Series figure and they fuck that, you know? Like Disney has those at Walmart, like Mandalorian ones, and it's just like a hunk of plastic that looks like Din Djarin. You know, it's like painted like shit and stuff. So that's what I'm assuming the equivalency of that is. Um, there's probably like a good version of that character around somewhere. Um, So this is just in the same vein of picking up something random that I wasn't even looking for. I saw this on the shelf and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I have an Ace Ventura one. And I mean, there's really nothing notable about this other than the package, but it's a little police car from The Crow.
Kind of
So
random, but
when I
cool.
saw that, I was like, hot damn. It's like a sign from the heavens saying, "Buckle up, Buttercup, because the crow's next."
Enjoy it.
Um, does it say Detroit on it? It says Inner City Police. That's fun because it's based in Detroit. So it was filmed in like Wilmington, North Carolina, same place that the Halloween was, age 18. Yep,
Very good. The more you know.
indeed.
Is it my turn again now?
I believe so.
I don't know if you have anything else to say, but anyway, so we're just gonna keep it in the same vein as what I just showed off. So right in the same section, you see where we're going with this? This one must be the one that's intended for an older audience. So it has like a whole bunch of interchangeable hands that'll go with it, but I put the two hands that'll dual wield the SMG because what this is supposed to recreate the box art for Halo 2, so it's branded as Halo 2 and everything. So it's a little bit different armor than what the other one I showed us because that's from Halo Infinite, which is a piece of shit. But this one actually has all full points of articulation and stuff. Like even the shoes, like the boots will move in there and everything. So this one's good. I like this one. And this one was 13 bucks. It was $7 off, originally 20. Um, the paint,
That's
like the
good.
sculpt is all really good. It all looks just like Chief, but the paint, that's a little too
It's
lime
really
green.
doesn't have any paint on it.
Well,
Looks
just
like they were molded in green.
you think so?
I That's my guess.
Maybe you're right. Let's look at the back. You know
The
more about
black
toys
looks
than
like
I
it was
do.
painted in possibly. And it was just painted onto green parts. So I know you're not going to do it, but if you were to scratch the black, you probably would uncover green underneath.
Interesting. So let's just say
Without looking at it in person, that's my guess.
the green plastic that they used is just not the right shade of green. But everything else is really good though. So again, for
Yeah,
13 bucks,
that's
couldn't say
good. I
no.
mean, there's probably a cosplay Chris custom collectible about this where he goes and paints it and makes it look exactly like it's from the game.
So thanks very much for watching, guys.
You
That's
know,
cool.
you do some washes on it, which a wash is like you get like really like paint, like brown paint. He does it sometimes with shoe polish, I think. Mixes in water with it, gets it really watery, and takes that on like a rag and rubs it all over it, and then lets it sit for a little bit, and then wipes it off, and so it will fall into all the little creases, and it sort of creates like a dirty look, you know, but like in a good way, like a dirty look. So it makes it look like it's worn and used, and that's the kind of stuff he does. I mean, he makes some things look really good.
Well, for
Um,
the dirty weathering shit that I did last season for Halloween, all I did was get like a Windex bottle and I would just put like just water, a couple, you know, bit of like brown and black paint to get that like nasty dirt color, and then you just spray that
yeah,
shit over whatever. So
that's similar idea. Yeah. But this would be done with like a, you know, like I said, either a rag or like a
yeah.
paintbrush, just putting it on like really liberally, like just like slapping it on and
Honestly,
then
that's a good
removing
fu
it.
that's a very good idea for Chief. Like fuck this one, 'cause I don't care about that, but that's actually a pretty good idea for this one that looks pretty good. Hmm,
I would say definitely look and see if he has a video where he does it and then just, you know, follow what he does in it.
very good.
But, you know, you always want armor to have sort of like a worn, beaten sort of look to him.
Yeah,
And it
because
would
he
make
just
it
looks
darker.
sterile.
Yep. Yep.
Like I mean, even just looking at the cover of the fucking game, why not? We're already here. I mean, obviously it's totally different lighting and it's a picture from a game, but like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, not the
It's like a
same.
hunter green.
Yeah. Ugh. All right, lady, your turn.
Hot damn.
You found a cosplay, Chris. No fucking shit. Hell yeah. It's not the same figure, but this idea is there, so cool.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, that looks like the only one, but still pretty much the same thing. Here's a stormtrooper
Oh wow.
or a
Oh,
clone
ooh,
trooper.
that is a big difference.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. He's good at it. Yes, indeed. Um, what game is this one from?
That looks like Halo 4.
Put yours up to the screen. Take a look at this. Hmm.
Because look at the chest and the
Yeah.
visor and the yeah.
Yeah. It is different. Fascinating. But yeah, you could follow the same basic idea, I think.
Oh no, I know
Yes,
I'd be
indeed.
able to.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, I have one last item.
Same, me too, right after that. That's
And
crazy.
like we didn't already discuss that we both have five. This is one that I don't know if you ever actually believed would ever show up. I don't know if I believed it would ever actually show up. I want to make sure that what I feel here is not a scratch. Okay, it's not. I mean, great movie.
Oh, after all
Um,
your fucking bullshit.
yeah, sold out many times over. Was not sent to me any of those times for some reason. Uh, Amazon's fault. Austin Butler, Elvis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You see him
Yes.
there. He's bald. Anyway, so yeah, great movie. There's discs rattling around inside.
Gotta love it. Classic Amazon.
Yeah, there's no reason this should ever happen. You have to
Especially with
imagine
something
what
that fucking sturdy.
what did this go through? Like it was smacked, it was hit, it was thrown
Better have
around.
happened at a factory level.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Because that's no excuse.
No, not at all. But it's all right. The spine looks fine and whatnot, so should be fine. Um,
The spine looks fine, so it should be fine. I
yeah,
yeah.
exactly right. Exactly right. But yeah,
The
good
return of
movie.
laid back Brandon.
Yeah, yeah. This sandworm. Not the same sandworm as Beetlejuice, different sandworm.
Remember the Dune popcorn
Tickle, tickle,
buckets that came
tickle.
out
Oh
and they
yeah.
looked
Same creature.
Yep.
I remember it very well. Sarah, I wanted to call her Sarah Ferguson. That's not right. Sarah Ferguson's like Fergie, I think. From like
Fergalicious. Definition, make them
that,
boys go
yeah,
loco.
but also the royal lady named Fergie as well. Um, so I think so. Why can't I think of her name? She's Irish. She's the Irish woman from Dune that I like. Um, but she was like Rebecca Ferguson. She was like in the interview, and she's like on her phone, like as the interview is starting, and they're like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hello," and they're like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, I have to look something up." And they're like, "What are you looking up?" And she's like, I heard about this popcorn bucket that people keep talking about. And she's like, "I found it. I don't even know what I'm looking at." And like she turns it and is like, what am I looking at?" And they're like, "Well, take your hand." And she's like, "Uh-huh." And you put it like inside to grab popcorn. And she was like, How sensual.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean,
Yes.
they do say you have to ride a sandworm to earn your spot.
Wow,
so...
look at that. That's what happened back in the days with MGM, but thankfully we moved on.
Where it looks like a fucking whack pocket pussy and
Yeah.
not to mention it's like it's already lubed up and ready to go because you're just transferring all that butter. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, it's nasty. It's like one of the funny things that like Tony from Hack the Movies ever said, where he posted on Valentine's Day, where he's like, I don't have a date, so I'm spending my night with the Dune popcorn bucket.
the fucked up part is he actually did have sex with it.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. That's nasty.
That is nasty.
But yeah, you can have sex with that hat just so you
Cool,
don't feel
like-
left out.
Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about there being popcorn buckets for every single movie.
Well, I'm still
Nowadays.
pissed off that they didn't have the right here, right now tumbler and accompanying
Right
popcorn
here,
bucket.
right now.
Are
Anyway,
you ready to swear right here, right now for the devil? I have one more item to show off now. You ready? We're just gonna keep it all in theme. So what were the last two? What do you think the last one's possibly gonna be?
an action figure.
Yeah, they were all in the same section, by the way. I wonder why they were all
Yeah, it's called the
discounted
toy section.
because nobody was fucking buying them. But this one was Master Chief on the Mongoose with the Spartan laser, and of all of them, this one's the best. For $13, you know,
They started off big and they get a little smaller every time.
but like when he's actually sitting on it, it looks sick. And the figure itself, like this is what the paint job is supposed to look like. That's a more accurate color. So
Okay.
this was a good one. I like this one. The gun's a little warped in some spots, but oh well. It's just the heat from the Spartan laser, who knows? But yeah, and this
Sure,
one has
sure.
little there's like little pegs on the back of the mongoose. So
Yeah.
get back on here, Chief. We'll adjust them later.
Now you can't return the big stupid one. You need to have the whole
The whole set.
descending order of height.
So I had him kind of sitting like that on the back of the mongoose.
Like he's a giant one.
Yeah, he's just a giant chief. Just have a little bit of everybody.
There's a statue erected in his honor.
Exactly. Well, I'm so
What if-
fucking pissed off. What?
What if they like made a Halo game where they like I'm assuming like has his face been shown at any point? Ever?
Only in the fucking TV series that the
Okay.
showrunner did not play the games for and said that they were not going to. So
Okay.
no, at the end of like Halo 2 or whatever, they're like they allude to him taking his helmet off, and people
Yeah.
have like in the PC version clipped the camera away and then like panned it back to the scene.
Of course.
And he just takes his helmet off and it's another helmet. So that like they don't show Chief.
That's funny. Yeah, people like doing that, and usually it doesn't show anything. They did it with Resident Evil, because the Resident Evil 7, 8, and eventually 9, which let's forget 9, 7 and 8, the main character doesn't have a face. You never
Yeah.
see it. And they created third person mode for 8 eventually, and you anytime you move the camera, he he moves away from it. Like you see the back of his head, but he'll constantly still move away from you, like when you go to look at his face.
That's funny.
And now you've seen it, but back in 7, people were going and they were trying to see what his face looked like, and it was just like nothing there. It was just like a blank canvas. And
Yeah,
they would
people
show
don't
his-
understand that assets cost money, so they're not gonna sculpt it when it's not gonna be shown. There's no point.
Yeah.
Unless you
Yeah.
like data mine it and there's like a PNG somewhere in the character file. You know what I mean? Other than that, you're
Yeah,
not gonna find it.
sure, which people do that too, but it won't be there. I mean, it could have been added and then they took it out, but and so it's
Yeah.
still there, but whatever. Mario has a ton of that shit. Like Mario 64, like a ton
Hmm.
of unused assets for some reason, shit like that.
Well, originally
Noises
Mario
and stuff.
64 was going to be a multiplayer game. It's going to be supposed to be two-player, like couch co-op game. And Luigi
Just
was going
like
to be the
just
second
like old school
character in it.
Mario.
Yeah, and that's where the whole Luigi rumor for years. I don't know if you know about this, but like
Yep.
Luigi is real or whatever, and the fountain in the back courtyard and all these other things that people would mention. And it's like,
Yeah, it was one of those rumors you heard on the playground,
yep. My
and
dad
then
works
you
for
went and tried to
Nintendo.
find it. Yeah. 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 I worked. I went to school with like 10 kids who had Nintendo
Yeah,
employee
it's
parents.
crazy.
It is crazy.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know they had a Michigan branch.
I tell me about it. I know. And they can like make games themselves at home and sell them to you like bootlegs, because that it's like easy, it's super easy to make a game. Just whip it up, full voice acting, cutscenes, everything.
The child mind is a wondrous thing, isn't it?
It is. I remember this girl, Angela Tata. She would lie about having an uncle. This would, she might be a very nice person now. And it's not that she wasn't nice at the time, but she would, lie like little kids do, that she had an uncle that was a video game designer. And I could tell her, like, could you make like a Michael Myers game where you play as Michael Myers and kill people? And she'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, where is it? Like a week later, and she'd be like, oh, he's still making it. And it's like, this is a total lie.
That's
It's
really
just like,
funny
we'll
though.
put it onto a N64 cartridge. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Naivete, right?
At its finest. That's pretty
Correct.
funny.
Kids always say what they wanna.
That's all. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Tell us about some of the purchases that you have partaken in over the last month. Did you buy a Dune popcorn bucket?
Did
Let
you
us
fuck
know.
the Dune popcorn bucket?
Do you have a video? Send it to Greg at no, I'm kidding. Anyway, we appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah, for the sparse
Yeah.
special features. Tune in for the next episode where I introduce a segment called a retro show. Let's see, I plugged this thing in
Yeah.
Saturday, I let it sit all night and I charged the battery.
Yeah.
And let's see, I think it
Let's see the
still hasn't
quality on
fucking
that bad
charged.
boy.
All right, let's see if it'll turn
I
on
used to have
now.
a black one.
So after I just went on about how it was holding a charge, I was not going to turn on. Oh, hold on. There's an apple. You can't see it, but there's an apple. There we go. You can hear the mechanical hard drive like moving around in there because it's a
I like
mechanical
that.
drive.
Put a video on.
I don't have any videos on. It's just songs on here, but
You asshole. What's the point of having this?
because it was an iPod. What?
But it has the video feature. Yeah, it's good. I can feel it. I can't hear it or anything, but I can feel it.
Fucking I have the Sweeney Todd album on here. Is there no album? There we go. Now you can enjoy.
Yes.
That's crazy. This thing is still like the battery. I cannot believe this thing still works. Like it's nuts.
This is an iPod video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's right in the title.
Yeah, then they rebranded it to iPod Classic, so you can go to my video section and it's all porno. Yeah, there's nothing on here.
It's hard to get that on there because you have to change the
The
format.
file format, yeah, it was a pain in the ass. Plus, if you had a Windows computer, you were not having a fun time with iTunes on those
Oh, no.
computers.
Let
They
me
were
tell
so
you this,
bad.
and then we'll bring this to an end. I don't think I ever told you before. This is in regards to the PSP. I remember trying, like, taking discs that I had. Oh, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I got it. Very good. I remember taking discs like I had like the 10th season of Friends, for instance, and I would put that into my computer and I would be able to rip the files from it. And for some reason, they weren't protected on DVD. And I could put them onto PSP one time.
What? Like a one-time license transfer, and then it just
I
doesn't
don't
work
know.
after that?
I don't know. I could put them on once, and if I went to go and try to put more episodes on, it wouldn't work. If I took that episode off and tried to put that exact episode back on, it wouldn't work. It would work for me one time.
Maybe it's like the DVD knew or like didn't know that you were transferring it. It just saw it as like a use. What? I don't understand.
I
That is
don't
the
know.
weirdest thing.
I blame the PSP for it, to be honest with you. And
Because when I
for the longest time, it was like, what is going on here?
well, so
It's a bitch,
I
though.
concurrently had a PSP and an iPod video. So the screen is so much bigger on a PSP that's what I would watch like movies on. And I had a bunch of UMDs anyway. So
Yeah,
my iPod was like pretty really just for music.
sure.
But then I wanted the video because it's bigger, it's more storage. It's like, what if I want to watch? The only thing I would watch on it were like G4 podcasts and like Happy Tree Friends and shit. Remember Happy
Hmm.
Tree Friends?
I never watched it, but I had friends that did.
And they were Happy Tree Friends.
Yes. Yeah, I would always download things that I missed because DVR didn't exist or streaming. So if I missed like an episode of something like Monk, I would have episodes of Monk, random episodes. I had a couple random episodes of Ghost Hunters. I had a couple random episodes of Man versus Wild. Like this was on my iTunes store. Like my
You're bringing back memories now because more than just podcasts, G4 would do like X Play and Attack of the Show stuff, and like the following week would put it on there. Wow, kind of forgot about that.
good times. The Office, when I still watched The Office and kept up on it a little bit. I just found out the other day. I thought I stopped watching it in the second season. It was like the fifth season I stopped watching it. I
Really?
don't know why. I used to watch it with my mom, and for some reason she stopped watching it, so I did too. And I don't know.
You don't miss watching them on a screen this big when like just it's look at that. That is insane. Like how far technology has
Yeah, I
come.
mean, you should flip it sideways. No, your phone. There we go. Like that's the better comparison to be like, look at how big of a difference that
Yeah, it's
is.
wild.
Um, to be honest with you, I would only watch it on that screen if I was in a pinch. I usually would watch it on my computer.
Yeah, it's like you
Sit there and
watch
watch it
stuff
on the
on this if you're
screen.
like on the bus or like in the cafeteria or
Yeah, if you
something.
had to. Also, it would be able to withstand you watching like two things on it, and then the battery was dead. So it could not handle that kind of. I don't know why I'm doing this motion, but
Battery
it couldn't
life.
handle the power usage or whatever. So, yep, yep, yep. Um, just like the Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance
Yes.
SP, that thing died all the time.
The DS Lite though, that thing is a battery champ. That was like the Apple product of like Nintendo like handheld batteries. That thing could be on standby for like a month.
Good shit.
Indeed. So tell us everybody, what are you playing on your retro stuff? What did you pick up?
Yeah,
Lucas
let
has to
us
end us
know.
before he goes off on a Brandon tangent and becomes
Here's a question for all of you.
yes, I'll answer it.
This is real. Marilyn Manson did an interview circa 2005, 2006.
The Bill O'Reilly one?
No, get the fuck out of here. This was not like any notable interview, but he did an interview and they asked him, is he more of a PSP guy or is he more of a DS guy?
I remember you sent me this.
So you people out there, tell us what you think he was more of, because he answered it definitively. And I will tell you in the comments, but you have to leave a comment.
Oh, look at this fucking trickery.
All right,
What a
bye,
sly
everybody.
dog. Bye, everybody.